T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Rock the world, rock the world. With me, no worries, come with me. No worries, just come with me. No worries, just come with me.
Yeah.
That was fire.
I'm digging that intro. What up, y'all? It is the King and Me show. Clap it up for us. Clap it up for us. Y'all see how we making incremental changes over here and improving every single time we come on live.
Every single time. I love it. I love it.
Hey, babe, how you doing?
Wow, babe. How you doing?
Doing fine. Hey, y'all, it is the King and Me show. I am King.
Hey, it's me, Michelle. Hey, y'all.
And this is our live stream. This is our live stream that we started. We're on episode 20-something.
Yeah, I don't remember what number it was.
20-something. This might be like 24. Somewhere around there. 24, 25, one of them.
Probably.
But this is a live stream / podcast that we started to show that the dating game's not just all trash out here in these streets, although it is a little bit trashy
And cesspoolish.
and cesspool-ish. It's not all bad out there. Michelle and I, we met through a blind date, and we've been kicking it for a little bit over a year now, and decided to start this to share that journey, and maybe hope to show people that, like we said, it ain't all trash out
It ain't all trash. However, if you're over 30, it kind of may appear that way.
there.
It definitely, let's call a spade a spade. It may appear that way, but it's not all trash. Even in a pool that has complete cesspoolness in it and only like an inch of water, there's still an inch of water. It's all about perspective. It's all how you see things.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we are live. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Look, y'all, we are just getting this thing kicked off. If there is a like button where you are, mash that like button. Help us out on the algorithms. That's the algorithm over here. All right.
What's up? How you been?
You know, we just got through Thanksgiving together, our second one.
Our second one, and I feel like this one was 10 times better than the first one.
Technically, kind of our first one, actually. So tell people what happened last year.
So last year, King was sicker than sick, okay? King was so sick, I was genuinely concerned about him. Like, we did Friendsgiving with my friends the day before Thanksgiving last year. And he looked like he was, like, severely, like, completely out of it. And then the day of Thanksgiving, he was just like, oh, no, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it and everything like that. And I ended up bringing him some food, and, like, he was sicker than sick. And I'm telling you, I was just like, oh, no, my poor baby. It's our first Thanksgiving, and he's all sick. So, I mean, it counts, but, like, it don't really count because, like, you were, like, completely out of it. I don't know how much of last Thanksgiving you remember.
I don't remember a lot, and I rarely get sick, so I was a big old baby.
Ooh,
And-
y'all.
And we just known each other for not even 3 months at this point. So to be sick and then still have her essentially care about my well-being, like that was one of the first times that I think she showed it. And she was checking up on me, making sure that I was A-okay, asked me if I needed anything, brought me stuff whether I asked for it or not,
That's still
in
amazing.
a care kit type situation. But it was dope. Like that was one of the first times that you showed that, and we were kind of just into us at this point.
Because I knew from the moment I met you what you knew and wanted to admit when we first met.
Here we
That's
go.
between you and you. But what I knew was I knew I loved you. I knew I loved you before I met. You don't remember that song?
Mm-mm.
Or it was like 98 degrees or something. Somebody. One of them.
Maybe I didn't catch the tone.
Are
But
you trying to say I can't sing?
who do we have in the building that we need to acknowledge before we get things kicked off?
All right, so the first person we got up in the building is Taj. Free T is in the building.
Shout out
What
to
up,
Free T.
sis? So before I acknowledge who else is in the building, Free T made the comment about our new intro. Can we give a shout out to the person who created our intro real quick?
Yeah, shout out to Perry Production. Perry Production in the
Bam,
building
bam.
with the intro. Hold on. Yeah. Hook our intro up. He's got 150K followers over there on his Facebook page. If you don't know who Perry Production is, one of the best videographers out in the land. That's my homie from back in the day, doing big things over on social media in the videography space. So go over there and check him out too, and book him for stuff. He travels.
Yeah, so definitely go check him out. Again, it's Perry Productions on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever streets you in, he in them streets as well under Perry Productions. You definitely want to go ahead and give him a little check out. And then also we got the best mod in the building.
Hey, Tarika, you know her birthday's coming up.
That's right. Her birthday is coming up. Happy birthday, sis.
Her
Praying that you have a wonderful one.
Yep, her birthday's coming up. I put it in my calendar. I like for us to do something for her. She's been
Can you
a
put it in the
supporter.
joint calendar?
I will.
All
I
right,
will.
thank you.
She's been a huge supporter of us, and I want to put it out here on wax, as they say, that we would like to send you something for your support. So I've got your information, Tarika. Have no idea what we're going to do, but we're going to do something.
We'll talk to our producer and
Word.
see what our producer says.
All right, bet. So let's do a quick recap of last week. Then we'll get into Let's Get Deep, and then we'll talk about what we're going to be talking about today. So last week
Bet.
was Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We visited 8 states in 3 days.
7.
7 states in 3 days, and it spurned from losing somebody who I knew. I knew the father of somebody who I went to high school with. Shout out to Liz if she's watching live. I know she checks the replay, but Liz lost her father, Chuck Harkins, father, husband, U.S. Army veteran, generally cool dude. He got diagnosed with ALS back in 2017, 2018, and it progressed and hit him hard. Y'all know there is no cure for ALS. You can only essentially do treatment depending on how hard it hits you. Well, he passed away the Friday before Thanksgiving, and they had his services this past Friday after Thanksgiving. So it was up in Maine. I told Michelle I didn't know if she was interested in coming up. It was because I was going to have to leave and start driving on Thursday so that I could make the Friday services. And she said, where you go, I go. Just like that. Just like that. I'm not saying anything different than what she said. And I was like, okay, because I was initially like, Thanksgiving's the time for family and things like we have on our poll here.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up. Because this is a little bit relevant. Close out last. So, if I can show it. Boom. This poll that we had where we asked something that's on the screen because I can't read it from here.
Hold on. Let me. What are you most thankful for this Thanksgiving week?
So it was food, family and friends, the rest, and then football options. Nobody chose football options.
Chose football.
Out of the 30 people who responded in our Facebook poll.
Okay.
But a majority, which was about 1/3. So 20 people out of the 60. 20 out of the 30. 2/3. I promise I graduated school. 2/3 had responded family and friends.
Mhm.
So I wasn't sure if you were willing to make that trek up with me and my daughter, especially for people that you didn't necessarily know. And for the most part, I knew Liz, but I didn't know her family.
Mhm.
And then the guy who passed away, I knew him from fantasy football when she had invited him. But then him and I, had our own relationship within fantasy football and things like that. And I always thought he was a cool dude. I would have loved to have met him, but after he got his diagnosis, he had some dark times. And probably the biggest thing that stood out to me was there is audio going through your side, and I don't understand.
I'm not sure either, but the way you just paused, I'll pick up while you try to figure out what's going on. So I want to just piggyback on something that you said really quickly. You said that you didn't anticipate that I said that I would go, and let me tell you why I decided to go. I decided to go, one, because yes, where you go, I go. Thanksgiving, the holiday time, it is time for family, and you are my family. So, of course, I wanted to be there to support you. But then, secondarily, I remember maybe it was earlier this year or something. I remember you specifically coming to me and asking me to pray for Chuck. You said that your friend's father was having a really bad time with ALS, and you asked me to pray. So it's a big thing. Like, everyone knows that we have a difference in religious beliefs, but the fact that you came to me with that was huge. So that showed me that Chuck was someone important to you. And hearing of his passing was devastating enough, and I didn't want you to go through that time alone. I didn't want you to bear that weight alone, because we're a unit. We're here. So if you go through something, I go through something. And if there's something that I can take weight off of your plate, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a way to take the weight off of your plate the best way possible. This particular time, I was able to go, and I went into logical manner. Like this, you were able to pick up on logic. Logically, I knew your daughter was not going to want to attend that funeral.
Nope.
And then I also knew that you weren't going to leave her alone in a hotel room in a state that you're not 100% familiar with. And then that would have meant paying for an extra hotel night, because hotel checkout times would have been occurring right during the time when the funeral was going on. So you would have had to pay for an extra night just to be able to accommodate her. It would have thrown a lot of things out of sync. So logically, I was like, okay, not only can I be the support for him, but I can also be there and be with his daughter, and we can just go out and explore while you are grieving, or excuse me, not grieving, celebrating life with the family. It made sense to me. It made sense for me as your woman to be there by your side, supporting you during this time.
Thank you. Thank you, because it was definitely a huge help. Now, we started Thanksgiving. We did celebrate it with my friends, Kendra and Winifred, who are from Anniston. I don't know if you know them, Free T, but they are from Anniston High School, and their mom lives here. So, and they're like a 5 minute drive down the road. So we went and had Thanksgiving up their house, had some laughs, talked about traveling and things, and then we made the trek up north, stopped in Massachusetts, went to the celebration of life. I like how you said that Friday. From there, went to Maine, grabbed something to eat, and then made the trip back down. So, New York, Connecticut,
Mhm.
Maine, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Maryland, because that's where we're from. What
Hold
am
on,
I missing?
I gotta do it the way we did it. So we started in Maryland, drove through Pennsylvania, drove through New York, Connecticut. Then we slept in Massachusetts, crossed over to New Hampshire, which is where the funeral services were. And we also went to Maine and then Jersey. Wait, is that it?
Wrote
I
it
didn't
down
count
somewhere.
Maryland. I didn't count Maryland.
Okay.
That's what it was. So yeah, 7. It was 7 because I didn't count Maryland. But yes, we had lunch. So I will say the one thing that lovingly your daughter and I scammed you out of was going to Maine for lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a little extra,
we
but we
scammed
made it
we
work.
scammed the mess out of him. Like we were sitting in the car and we were like, we could get another state out of it. And we were trying to decide if we were going to convince you to go to Rhode Island or go to Maine. And Castle started looking up the nearest city and she was like, well, there is this town right over in Maine. And we're like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. So when you came up to the car, we're just like, so what you thinking? What's going on here? Can we go to Maine? And we ended up having lunch in Maine, which was absolutely beautiful.
Yep. So we had a pretty event filled Thanksgiving. A
Mhm.
lot of driving, some state, and one of the things I say is you can say that you've been in a state if you bought something in that state and paid a tax, contributed to the economy of the state. So all of the states except New York stopped in, but we've been to New
Yeah,
York before.
we've been to New York, we've been to Jersey. For me, it was special. Well, actually for Castle too, because I think all of the four states that were new to me were also new to her. So Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine were four states that were new for me, but also new states for her as well. So that was good.
T said, for me to be from here, which is our hometown, I don't know anyone. What you be doing? What you be doing? I saw your last video too, and thanks for answering my question. I don't know anything about 4D and nothing, but if I catch your content up enough, I think I may be able to surmise. Hey, that's a SAT word.
Oh no, SAT
Hey,
word. There you go,
boom.
baby.
May be able to surmise what it means. So let's get deep. Let's start with the icebreaker.
I don't know why I like singing, even though I can't. What was your favorite board game to play growing up?
I loved Monopoly, but people didn't like playing it because it can take long. But I loved everything about the game. I like being able to take people money, cause them to go bankrupt, be homeless. I loved everything about it. Yes, Monopoly was my favorite board game.
Things I should have asked you back when we first. What do you like to make? Never mind.
I said she was an extreme introvert.
That is surprising.
Yes, I
Mhm.
don't know. Sometimes you think people.
All right, for me, I didn't have a favorite board game because I had literally, until I played with you and your daughter, I had never played a full game of Monopoly because it did take so long. I wasn't a board game person. Sorry. I wasn't a board game person. I played cards. So, and I don't want y'all to hear that I play cards and think, yo, Michelle about to kill him in spades. Don't think that. I was an Uno person. And I feel like our trip to the cabin showed you what I learned. I spent 4 years in high school, and what I was able to graduate with was not just that beautiful degree from Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. What I graduated with was a particular set of skills that allow me to beat the bricks off of anybody in Uno.
And you hustled me too.
I didn't.
Because when you and I first got the chance to start dating and really getting to know each other, we played Uno. I spanked that behind in Uno the first couple of times. But in that cabin, it was like show no mercy. Finish him. We played about 50 of them games and she won 48 of them. And I couldn't do nothing. Not nothing, nothing.
I love you.
Tarika said, "What about the game of Life and Clue?" I like those. I like those. I'll play our board games. I like board games. I like having game nights and going to game. We met at a game night.
We met at a game night. You brought a game.
Met at a game night.
It's
So,
cute.
thank you, baby. So I love board games. And Tarika, maybe when we come down there, we can find a spot in GA to find a place to play board games. There's adult themed places where you can play board games and socialize and have fun. I know Atlanta has them.
Okay.
So we should do.
All right. I like it. I like it. Oh, next question.
Next question. We getting deep.
Have you ever sleepwalked? Describe what happened.
No, I've never sleepwalked. If I did, I would not have been able to do my job that I had in the military. They're real finicky about that. But while I was younger, no. Even now, no. I've never been told that I've slept walk. So no. How about you?
To my knowledge, I have never done that unless you count that moment when you're deep in sleep, but you know you got to get up and go pee, and you run to the bathroom and then run back and immediately fall back asleep. Unless you're counting that, no, I've never slept. I've
Okay.
never had a sleepwalking experience. Last but not least, deeper. What was the first thing you bought with your own money?
So that's tough because I don't remember things that I bought like with. Oh, I can remember the biggest thing that I can remember that I bought with my own money. I was part of a class action lawsuit growing up, and we were given earnest money from PCBs that were dumped in my hometown. And if you were under a certain age, you were able to get like $1,000 that they took out from your final payout or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest you got when you turned 19. So my parents actually gave me and my brother our $1,000 up front. I took half of it and I bought me a PlayStation 3 or whatnot. So that was like my biggest purchase and the biggest thing of significance that I can remember that I bought with my own money. I was a junior in high school.
Now, the first thing of significance that I bought, because I probably like I had a job senior year in high school, so I most likely paid for my hair and my nails when I was in high school. But the first thing I distinctly remember buying for myself, I was a freshman in college, lived on campus at Bowie State University, and we had a Mary Kay rep who came to the campus. And you may think you know where their story is going, but you don't. The first thing that I bought with my own money, it was actually a Discover credit card. The first thing I bought with my own money was my very own Mary Kay kit so that I could sell Mary Kay. Like that's how I got hustled. I didn't get hustled out of buying one or two products from this Mary Kay lady. No, I got hustled into thinking that I could be a Mary Kay sales consultant. I can't sell no Mary Kay.
I can
Look,
sell, period.
I
It's
am
not my
an
strong suit.
excellent seller. I can sell ice to a snowman, whatever. I can. But the issue comes in with morality. I struggle with selling to people when I know that they can't afford it. And that's where I find issues with that. I don't know why. It's just I can't.
You can't be no ethical salesman out here in these streets.
I don't know what to tell you. Like I struggle with selling things when I know someone can't afford it. Like that's why I can't be a salesperson. It's not that I can't do the job. It's not that I'm incapable of selling something, promoting something enough to the point where people want to buy it. It's just that if I can tell you can't afford it, I don't want to sell it to you.
Hmm.
So I struggled with Mary Kay. But that was the first thing I bought.
Okay. Free T said that Phase 10 was her jam. Now I like some Phase 10.
I don't even know what phase 10 is because I dominated it Uno so much.
I have to show you. It's pretty fun. And you were talking about spades earlier. Spades is something that I told you that I'd like for us to learn together so that we can pick
Like,
up.
don't say learn on here because then people won't think that we don't know.
Well, here's the thing. That's fine.
We gotta be ringers. We gotta pretend.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We here.
I'm picking up what you putting down.
Mm-hmm.
Free T said, so they hustled you too with the Mary Kay?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
She said, I am not a salesperson.
And so the funny thing is, my first job ever was Build-A-Bear Workshop. Yes, I sold teddy bears. Like when I tell you I can sell things, I am a natural salesperson. The particular subject that I teach in schools, I have to convince students that they should take this course. Like I'm good at selling things to people, just apparently not when my paycheck depends on it.
Word.
Not when my paycheck depends on it. But I tell people all the time, because this is related but not. I tell people all the time, like when I would go on job interviews, they would say, like, what's the most a sales job, like what's the most important thing you've ever sold or convinced someone that they needed? Well, I remember working at Build-A-Bear Workshop, and this pregnant woman came in. When she came in, she asked, like, what's something that she should buy for her unborn child? And of all the expensive things, this is why I'm not a good salesperson, of all the expensive things that were located in that store, I pointed her to an $8 Build-A-Sound, told her to buy that $8 Build-A-Sound, nothing else in the store, buy that $8 Build-A-Sound, take it to her next ultrasound, and record the sound of her baby's heartbeat, and then come back in later and buy a teddy bear and put that Build-A-Sound heartbeat in the teddy bear. She bought it. Like, she believed what I said to her. She ended up buying that build a sound. She ended up doing exactly what I suggested. However, I only had an $8 sale. The store eventually later had obviously more business, but I only had an
Ah,
$8 sale. That's me as a person. I'm not going to sell you something that I don't think you need, which is why I struggle as a sales.
that's still a dope idea. A dope idea.
Fundamental.
All right, so that was our three questions: the icebreaker, the deep question, and the deeper question. And we also learned some of the games that some of the people watching play as well. So that's cool. That's cool.
That's what's up. Look, we can play you in spades. Got you.
Our topic for today: family,
Family,
food,
food,
football.
football.
We had a lot of all three of them
We sure did.
over the last couple of days, and I'm a big football fan. We had the Iron Bowl, which was this past Saturday, and we watched it up to Lady Di and James's house. So shout out to Dating to Marriage Support. There's some content creators that we met a
Over
year
a year ago.
ago,
Yeah, a little over
about
a
a
year
year
ago.
ago.
I think when we first met them, we were we dating. We were just
We were
friends.
just friends at that point,
Yeah.
and we went and met them too. They're a married couple. They just crossed 100K subscribers on YouTube. So
Shout out to
shout out to
them.
them.
Yes, yes, yes.
They're having a live stream at 8 Eastern tonight. So kind of when we're usually wrapping
Wrap it
up.
So
they'll be
that's
live.
Dating to Marriage Support here on YouTube. They just hit 100,000 subscribers. So please go check them out. We're following them on both here and Facebook if you want to figure out who they are and get to know them a little bit better.
James, the husband, is from Alabama as well, and he's a Crimson Tide fan.
Roll Tide.
So we had talked about getting together and watching the Iron Bowl. And man, did this Iron Bowl leave you on 4th and 31, figuring out if the one loss Alabama team was gonna lose to a then 6-5 Auburn team. And it looked like that was the case
It surely
until Jalen Milroe threw a pass to Isaiah Bond at the back left corner of the end zone, and that joker pulled it down with like 20 some seconds left to play. Everybody that was Alabama fans around the country was celebrating. Auburn fans, like some were showing, were in tears.
King, I have a student. His real name slips my mind because he's from Alabama and everybody just calls him Bama. Like, I tend to call the students the nicknames that they go by. So for
Mhm.
some of them, I legitimately don't know their real name. Homeboy is one of them. I saw him today in the hallway. First time I'm seeing him since before Thanksgiving break. He's walking down the hallway. I'm standing at the door. All he said, he doesn't even say hello, Ms. Early. He doesn't say nothing. He doesn't greet me in any way, shape, or form. He sees me, locks eyes, and says, I almost had a heart attack on Saturday. Like, that's
Mhm.
it. That's it. Because he knew I was about to ask him, like, how his weekend went and everything like that. No, no, no. He chose to get straight to the point, which is, I almost had a heart attack watching that Bama game. And that's exactly what that game was. It reminded me of the Ravens and how they will induce a heart attack
Absolutely.
out of their deepest fans. And that's how I felt on Saturday night. That's how I felt.
Mm-hmm. And look, it was nice to be able to politic and fellowship around the sport. Now, people are like, man, like, why are you such football fans and things like that? Well, I played growing up. I love the sport. I like what it can teach you about adversity and just working towards a common goal. I think that there's a lot of things that you can learn from playing the sport, but then being fans can allow two people to essentially cheer for something or bond over just an event, right? She didn't play football, but is a fan of football itself. She wasn't a fan of college until her and I got together, but see, she does understand the sport. James's wife doesn't care about
She's
football
not a football person. And
at all.
she asked me about football. Like, have I always liked football? And I had to be honest with her. I'm from Baltimore. So for me, I was honest with her. I was like, I became a football fan when the Ravens came to Baltimore. So when the Browns were in Baltimore, I was really young. I wasn't a Baltimore fan like that. I wasn't a football fan like that. I paid attention more to baseball and WWE wrestling. Like those were things that I followed. But then when the Ravens came to town, that's when I was like, okay, bet like I can bang with y'all. Black and purple works for me. Those are colors I can get with. I supported them when they came to town, and I've been a football fan ever since then. And I mean, we're gonna be honest on this show. We gonna call a spade,
Uh-huh.
right? You got men running around in tight suits. Like, what's not to
Yeah.
like about football?
I started laughing because I was like, I know where this is
You know me.
going.
You know me. Like it was nice. It was a nice little view and everything like that. But no, it's great athleticism. I love learning how the sport of football, how it translates into so many different other aspects. Like, one, there's team building that comes with it. Two, there's a level of delicacy and intricacy that comes with the fine tuning of footwork that the players have to learn. There's a level of science and mathematics that feeds into it as well. So I look at athletes and I'm like, okay, how can I translate this into academics? And that's
There you
what
go.
that's what I see. I see the bond and the connection. So I love it.
We gave Perry Productions a huge shout out for helping us out with our intro. Then he's gonna come on and be a whole hater and a
Look,
half.
like we were just so nice and so kind,
Yeah.
and here he go.
Shout out to my boy Peter, man. That's my guy. Again, if you need a videographer, hit him up. If you need a Bama fan support, don't go to him.
Don't go to him.
But football connected us like that. It allowed us to fellowship, hang out with James and his family. They opened up their house to us and things like that, and we were grateful for that. Something that Chuck's wife said. Chuck is the guy that passed, and we went up to his funeral. Something that his wife Sherry said was that she gave me a hug. Never met her. Gave me a hug, which people I think she might be from the South. I'm not, but definitely a hugger. And she said fantasy football, which is an extension of football, got Chuck through some dark times. Just that right there, and I was like, yo, like that's awesome. That's like it blew my mind. I didn't know how to respond back to that, right? Because I recall Chuck sharing on his social with ALS, you don't have the ability to move your own muscles and that. And he said one time, I feel as though he's like, I'm trapped in my body. I can't do anything. So he had to have help. He had to have a caregiver, support, and things like that. And for his wife to say that, knowing that maybe at one point Chuck had expressed that or she that, and all we did was bond over a sport, over a thing like fantasy football, and meant a lot to hear that. And when people be like, "Oh, I don't really care about sports, or anything like that," well, that's fine. That's cool. You don't have to be a sports fan, but at least understand how sports can of people together and just laugh and have a good time. So that's how I see sports.
I think people underestimate sports. I'm not gonna lie. As a teacher, I know that there are probably teachers around the country who are like, I have gone through so much schooling and everything like that, and these athletes make more than me. But it's a it's a fantasy type thing. Like I look at it and I think of sports as a way to not only unite people, but for a way for people to feel stronger and more alive than they may have felt otherwise. So I think of what you said about what Chuck said and what other people said about Chuck. But then I also think of organizations like the Make a Wish Foundation, which allow young people who are going through a terminal illness to be able to connect with their favorite sports figures
Yeah.
and just see how seeing that sports figure brings them to life. Like, honestly, I don't think a teacher's ever done that. Like, no offense, I don't think someone's ever, had their final wish to see a teacher and just learn about physics. Like, I don't think anyone's ever said that. So sports has a way of bonding and connecting people, and if nothing else, it allows for a way for people to to trash talk and love. Like I remember when we were going over to Lady Di and James's house, you said you went into Wingstop to pick up some food and you had on
Yeah.
your Bama shirt and somebody was coming in with, a shirt from the other school and they said to you, you better not say Roll Tide. And what was your response?
I don't have to. You already did.
Exactly. Like two people who have never met each other a day in their lives and they're just able to come together and trash talk. Like that's how I feel anytime I see a Steelers fan. That's how I feel anytime I see a Commanders fan. Because what I'm gonna do, being from Baltimore, is I'm a trash talk about anybody who's not the Orioles or the Ravens. I don't care what our season is looking like.
Mm-hmm.
I ride hard for my city because rep your city. Like
Rep
that's
your
what you
city.
do. I will forever rep my city. We don't have a basketball team, so you know what? I will support College Park. Like this is just what you do, and I love how that can come out. You don't have to be the biggest, supporter of it all, but just to know that it does come with a level of camaraderie and a level of bonding. I hate it when people are just like, "Oh, that's just ridiculous that you put all that support into it." No, it's a bonding measure for some people. Like it's someone's profession. It may not be your profession, but it's someone's profession. And so respect it because it does come with a level of dedication. And some people literally pour their entire body into it. I think about what you said a few weeks ago on the Sports Bar, which is a show that airs on WTF Army Radio, and I'm probably butchering both of those two stations, but
Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, WTF Nation. I host.
that. So you were talking about that hockey player who unfortunately lost his life, and it's just like sports. Some athletes poured their everything into it. I can't even begin to think about all of the football players who suffered concussion after concussion after concussion with all those hits, and then later were diagnosed with what is it, CTE,
Mhm.
and ultimately they had to have their brain studied post their living on this earth. It's like it's a big thing. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that it's not big. So I went on that whole big tangent to say, yes, football, we connect. I love it. I love being able to bond with you. But I'm going to be 100% honest. If you had been a Commanders fan, I don't know if we would be where we are right now.
Now, can I say this? I can say this without saying too much. If I would have been a Commanders fan, that would have been extremely ironic to me. Know why? And I'll leave that there.
I'm gonna mind my own business now. I just sit here and mind my own business. But no, like, oh man, no, I'm so glad you're not a Commanders fan. I'm glad that I'm now introduced to football on Saturdays for Bama love. And I mean, let's be honest, they're red and they're crimson and to me cream, and they love elephants. Me too. So it was natural. It's funny. I was talking to my coworker about that today. He was like, "You didn't have to be a Bama fan," and I was like, "Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
They're crimson and cream, and they're elephants. Like that's me. Like,
Exactly.
hello, yes, I did."
Now, the thing that I love about Thanksgiving is that we get football Thursday, Friday now because there's a Black Friday game. That Saturday is always the Iron Bowl. I
Oh,
don't schedule anything around that game. So if there's something that you want me to come to, is the Iron Bowl going to be airing where we're at? Because I'll come as long as the Iron Bowl is going to be aired or viewed. If it's a hey, come to my wedding, show up for my funeral, whatever, you might have to kind of watch the game at your funeral. Like, might have to figure that out. All
what
right,
if you little AirPod in your ear, and
I'm
while
just
everyone
saying.
is singing some sweet hymn, you can be like, "What? What?" Like I can see it now. Or at a wedding, and it's gonna get to the part like, does anyone object? I can't believe he dropped the ball. Like I can see it now. Don't
Yep.
don't third. What is it? The third Thursday or whatever Thursday is. Whatever Saturday is after Thanksgiving. Don't invite King
Don't invite
nowhere
me
unless
nowhere.
he can watch football, y'all.
Yep. And then there's obviously the games on Sunday and then Monday. So there's all different football from Wednesday tonight, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. Now, to close that part out, and transition over. The next one is food.
Mm, mm.
We got invited to go back up to New Hampshire next year. We don't have to commit to it now, but would you be interested in rolling back up there if invited next year to the Harkins house?
Liz and family, yes, we
Okay.
shall be there next year.
Boom.
Count us in. We
Count
just
us
gonna make
in.
it a longer trip this time.
Yes, yes, yes. Count us in. We will bring the cards. Y'all play spades. We'll smack all y'all in spades
Come see me at Uno.
and Uno and Phase 10, and we'll have a good time. So, with the food, it's you had a different Thanksgiving than 99% of everybody else that I knew.
Ah.
Okay? So, how do you deal and how do you handle Thanksgiving knowing that I'm going to actually assume that you did Thanksgiving traditionally in the past. Is that correct?
Well,
Prior to being a vegan?
so there are things to consider. Number one, I grew up in a Jamaican household. Thanksgiving, by and large, is an American holiday.
Okay.
It's the celebration of when someone discovered this country and decided that he was going to break bread with people that he discovered the land
I
from.
don't even look at it like that anymore. That's wild. But continue.
But at the end of the day, it's still about America. And my family is foreign. My family, they're Jamaican. So growing up in our household, Thanksgiving didn't mean anything. Like, no offense, like it didn't, it wasn't something big. Because you look at the calendar, it says Thanksgiving in the US. Like it wasn't an important day for us.
But y'all didn't use that as a time to just get together and politic?
It was just us. Like it was me, my siblings, and my mom.
Okay.
We didn't really. The only time we did something big for Thanksgiving was a Thanksgiving after my grandmother passed away, and that went all the way left. So we ain't do nothing else no more.
Like fighting all the way left?
Like my sister was about to start fighting with somebody. Like she has to get real verbal on someone because my uncle and his aunt had said some negative things about me. And because I'm the baby and that sister is 12 years older than me, she instantly jumped into protective mode because I was 11 at that time. So with her being 12 years older than me, she was 23 at that time and she was ready to pounce on them. So we didn't really have Thanksgiving gatherings after that. And before that, we never did because we're Jamaican. It was whatever. Now, did my mom do some of the American things? So did she fix things at that time of year that she may not have fixed otherwise? Yes. So like she would make oxtail. Like oxtail, I loved oxtail growing up. She would make oxtail for Christmas and for Thanksgiving. That was typically like the only two times that she made oxtail. And she didn't make curry goat all the time, but she would definitely make it around that time of year just to because whatever, people are having sales on it, so it is what it is. But for by and large, we didn't really do anything big. As we got older, my mom did kind of do things as a way to kind of get her children to come back home or whatever, but not necessarily because, oh, we celebrate, like this is Thanksgiving, we have to go all out. So for me, it was what it was. I didn't feel like I was really missing anything. The Americans around me celebrated Thanksgiving heavily. And that's when we would do things. So like as we dated people over the years who were Americans, because aside from my eldest sister, everyone brought home an American at some point, we would do something for Thanksgiving because the American wanted it. Like, no offense. No offense. Like, that sounds really bad. I just keep saying the American, they're American,
No.
they're American.
What did you do in past Thanksgivings with some of your past relationships?
Like, did I bring them home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I brought them
Or
home.
did you go maybe up their family's Thanksgiving or anything like that?
It would be a split. So I would always start at home or end at home, and then I'd spend the other part of the day with their family. But I always came back home at some point.
So Thanksgiving's big for me for a few reasons. A, it's a day off. B, there's food.
Tonight is the day.
And C, unlike some people, I'm an extrovert, right? So people that are introverts, y'all would rather be doing your own thing if I understand it right. But me, I like being around people. I get energy being around people and things like that. And that's an opportunity and a time to do that. So I'm actually glad that you explained that to me because I would have assumed that even people that are foreign, if they're here long enough, I'm not saying that you have to adopt our traditions and cultures and things like that, but I would use it as an excuse to just link up, eat, and not have to do work.
Well, so that is what a lot of people do now. That is kind of like, even, Castle and I, we went and got our nails done on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And I asked our nail tech, I was like, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Now, we both know my nail tech was not born in America. Well, our nail tech was not born in America. And she said her sister was coming and they were going to cook. So, do people not from this country take this as an opportunity to be with their families? Yes. But the history behind Thanksgiving does not pertain to anyone other than Americans.
Okay.
It's an American holiday.
And you said our net tech, hey y'all, I be going and getting pedicures. Take care of your men. Take care of your feet. All
Take care of
right.
your feet.
Gotta understand that the feet is a vital part of your body. It helps you be able to go out, get on your grind and purpose and things like that. So you gotta make sure taken care of.
And make sure that it ensures that you don't catch your girlfriend.
Yes, that
Find
part
out there.
too. Cause look, mine's were kind of rough till I went and got them done. But I go and get them done
No, you be going like once a month, baby.
once a month. I go that often. Don't seem like it. But man, get them pedicures done. Take care of your feet. Unless you with somebody that don't mind doing it for you, then you know what? Shout out to you.
That ain't me.
Hey, that and that's all right. What you did today though, that was dope.
What I do?
So Michelle and I don't live together. And she comes over after she gets off work. I get done with my job and we get ready for this live stream. Well, I didn't ask her to make dinner or cook or anything like that, but she prepared dinner for me, helped kind of take that off of something that I had to do because I was just gonna throw some chicken in the oven, not even season it up, really, just
Or
cook it.
defrost it.
Well, you can. They say on the see, I read directions, and they say on the directions that can cook it from frozen. Like you don't have to thaw it. There is a cook it from thawed directions and a cook it from frozen direction, and you can put the temperature on 400, throw it in the oven right from the freezer for like 45 minutes, and it'll cook it all the way through. How do I know this? I've done it my whole life.
Let me tell you about the differences between Jamaicans and Americans.
I'm seeing your
I wish
face.
I would do that.
Let's see. Free T said, I'm definitely the type to do my man's feet in between visits to the nail shop. See, there are people like that out there.
There are people. Now, don't get me wrong. My reaction to that is not because I wouldn't do it. Like,
Mhm.
I don't have a problem
Yeah.
touching your feet. I recognize that that's not my strong
skill,
suit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's not my strong suit.
And that's fine. That's fine. Shout out to Free T said that she'll do her man's feet in
Yeah.
between. And that's dope. But some people look at that as like bonding time and stuff like that.
I
Do you?
do. Well, yeah, because you know me. You know I'm always down to give you a foot massage. Like, pass the oils. Let's go ahead. I will give you a foot massage, a body massage. I don't mind at all. I do consider that a level of intimacy, a level of bonding, and I'm 100% down to do it. A pedicure is just different because I'm just like, I don't, that's not, it's not as strong, it's not as skilled. But anything else to support you, even if it takes me a little bit outside of my comfort zone, I'm willing to do.
She said it's one of her love languages.
Nice.
You know, I never understood the love languages stuff until closer towards the end of my marriage. And when going through counseling, they introduced the love languages to you. And I had never heard of it. Never heard of it. But the author, and I forget who the author is, when you're reading it and you're going through it, if you are open, you can have an understanding of like what it means, and understanding yours and understanding your significant others to me is vital in having a relationship be able to. Again, there's two parts to that: understanding yours and understanding your significant others. And you and I had talked about it pretty early on.
Yeah.
There are some sectors of guys, I don't think I've really heard this from ladies, but there are men out there that'll be like, that stuff's trash. Really? Like, you don't need to understand love languages and whatnot. It's just another female's way of trying to get you to be emotional and mushy.
All right. So for the people, what's your love language?
My love language is acts of service. Acts of service followed by like words of affirmation.
Which are the two, ironically, that are lowest on my list. My greatest one is physical touch, which shouldn't be surprising that my second one after that is quality time. So those two rank very, very high for me. And then
I forget what the other one, the one we haven't mentioned, because there's five of them, right?
gift giving.
Okay, yes, yes, gifts. Yeah, I don't.
Gifts is it's like all the way at the bottom for me
Same.
because if you can give me the quality time and the physical touch, that is the gift. And then words of affirmation fall in like number 3 for me. So for me, it would be physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and gift giving. They're like tied at the bottom.
And something that I want to dispel, guys, physical touch doesn't just simply mean sex and that's it.
Like
Like,
I'm physically touching his hand right now, and
yeah,
that means a lot to me.
yeah, like for somebody that has physical touch as one of their top love languages, just coming up to them and hugging them, cuddling them. If you're a guy that likes cuddling, you are essentially a guy that likes physical touch. But there'll be men out there that'll be like, ooh, mine is definitely physical touch, but they don't really know anything about it. They're just thinking they just like to bump uglies or whatnot. And that's why they say physical touch is theirs. And it's like, no, it's not. Do you like cuddling? No, man, I don't really like cuddling like that, man. I'd rather be doing something else. Then physical touch is not your love language, dude. Like, understand that. Free T said, y'all gotta tell us both sides. What's the one what's the one you like
Given.
giving and the one you like receiving? Okay. You start. What's the one you like giving? Then I'll say mine.
The one of mine that I like giving, is
Yeah.
that what you mean? Okay.
I think so. That's the way that I understand. Like, what's the one that you like giving to me? And what's the one that you like to receive from me?
The one that I like giving to you is yours, I guess, if that makes sense. I like giving you acts of service, even though I'm a wordy person and very eloquent and thank you, Lord. I like doing acts of service for.
Okay.
Some of it is because I feel it just works better.
So,
I feel like you know what that means. Like
yeah.
it just works better. Like today, you mentioned dinner. That's not something I would have mentioned. It's actually something I kind of try to pretend I didn't do, which whatever. But knowing that I took something off of your plate again, like that's big to me. Knowing something that I took something off of your plate, and this one less thing for you to worry about. That's important for me. Receive it as an act of service. And okay, that's fine how it goes. I look at it like if I do this for King, get it worked out while he's working, and when he gets off of work, he doesn't have to worry about cooking something and finding something else. Because in my mind, that frees up time for us to have quality time and physical touch where I can just play fingers with you.
All right, so I'll go into mine and then we'll go to the second part is what's the one that you like receive. So the one that I like giving of yours is quality time. I enjoy spending time with you. I do enjoy spending time with you. Your other one being physical touch, look, that's a difficult one for me. All right. I be running hot all the time. And I'm the dude that when I'm sitting down, just hugging up or whatever, in my head, sometimes I'm up, I be thinking I could be doing else. Like, not anything, just like something advancing something. So I do the physical touch because I understand that it makes you feel loved and things like that. So I do it without hesitation and things like that. But I mean, being hot, honest, open, transparent, precious,
Precious.
uh, doing the physical touch when it is work for me. But the one that I do like giving you selfishly is quality time because I enjoy spending time with you. So, and I'll just go into my receiving and then you can answer it to close it out. The one that I like receiving from you is acts of service. And you've already said the reason why. There's things that I tell myself I have to get done throughout a day, throughout a week, throughout a month. I'm not a all the way organized person. Laughing because she knows she's extremely organized person. But her coming over after she got off work and waiting for me to get off work and then cooking dinner, even though she didn't eat any of it because vegan, she did that to take one thing off of my plate. And when I saw it, I smiled. It made me happy. It made my heart smile. Go ahead. Go ahead. And and I was extremely thankful for that. So anytime you do acts of service, it shows me that you care about stuff that I desire or things I've expressed. That's the one that I.
The one that I like receiving from you is the quality time. And I think that's, to be very honest, I think it's because it was, I guess, a scar from the past where it didn't seem like people wanted me around. And like, I'm not just talking about exes, but like, I'm just talking about like in my past. It
Yeah.
seemed like I distinctly remember my best friend's brother when we were children calling me annoying, and like that word stuck with me all of my life. So when you spend quality time with me, it's like, okay, I feel important. Like I feel all of the words that come from words of affirmation. I feel all of that. I feel seen, I feel loved, I feel valued. And then secretly I know that I can do something like this, which is randomly touch you
Yeah.
with my
Y'all can't
finger.
see it, but we've been like this for several minutes now.
Because he has shoes on, so I can't play footsies with him. So little things. So quality time, just it. I love receiving that from you.
Oh, hey, Free T, great question, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that question. And this is why we do this live stream, actually. I think that communication, and I've talked about this several episodes back, communication is one of the reasons why relationships don't last. But Michelle and I do this every Monday, and we've learned some stuff by communicating and talking. So thank you for that question. That was a very dope question, and I think it's a question that when you're with somebody, you should ask that question. You should ask that question
Yeah.
right there. Understand what the five love languages are, and then ask that specific question to your significant other and hear what they say. So appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh wow,
I try to ignore the time.
wow.
I try to ignore the time because when I'm at work and I pay attention to the time doesn't go by quickly. So I feel if I just ignore it, it's like it's not there.
Okay.
I fill the void everywhere except for work.
So I told you that I had a question for you that
Yes, I'm nervous. What's this question?
you were not prepared for this question,
Dun, dun.
but it's not that bad. You shared something publicly on your social media about Castle,
Oh, okay.
and then her mother expressed some thoughts very positively and favorably about what you shared. Can you talk about that real quick and what you thought about it in
So Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, we were driving, and by we I mean King was driving, and I was sitting in the passenger seat. Castle was sitting in the back, and there was this one moment because I like to, chronicle things. Then I also like to post things to our socials because we have these social media accounts. We want to keep you all engaged. So I posted a picture, and before I posted it, I read the comment to King because in my head, I was serious, but I heard a joke in there, and I wanted to post it. It's Thanksgiving. We're talking about being thankful. So I said something along the effects of, you know, I can't find the words to express how I feel, but King, today I just want to thank you dot 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 for introducing me to the wonderful human being behind you, because I wanted it to appear like I was saying, King, I'm thankful for you, but when the reality was, this was a shout out post to his daughter Castle. And no one except for King saw the humor in it. Like, I guess no one else knows you like you do, because everyone else like hit the heart emoji and everything like that. And even when I showed it to Castle, she was like, "Oh," and
That's
no one saw the humor. But no, I 100% meant it. I stand by it. Castle is an amazing human being, and I truly am grateful to know her. And despite all the people that I know in this town, I would not have had an opportunity to meet her had it not been for King. So I truly am grateful for that. Um, I tagged you in it, but your ex-wife, she and I are friends on Facebook. Castle's mom, she and I are friends on Facebook. So she saw the post on Thursday on Thanksgiving, and she made a comment in there as well, a loving comment. But then this morning I woke up and I saw that she shared my post, and she wrote a very sweet comment above it about how we all get along. And I should add that at the end of my post, I did say, I love you both. And I said that on there. And then, Cassie, your ex wife, she went and she shared the comment. She shared the post and added a very favorable comment to it as well. And her friends and some of y'all's friends and family and everything liked and did all the things on it. So that's what it was. But what was your question?
just your overall thoughts in general, seeing that for the first time. Now, I didn't see it because I've had my ex-wife blocked on all social media 2010. That's another story. But so I didn't see it, but I just want to know what your thoughts were seeing her response back to it, because she didn't have to do that, but communicated very outwardly that she's thankful that person that's around her kid isn't a crazy person that has more red flags than a Chinese parade. And I just want to know how you felt about that.
Honestly, it warmed my heart. I did not expect to see that this morning when I woke up, and I thought that that was extremely sweet. I'm gonna be honest. The first thing I thought, because I think it said, like, when I saw it, it said that it had been posted 4 hours ago, and I was low key like, Cassie, why aren't you asleep? Like, you gotta get some rest. Like, that was the first thing that came to my head, because I default to jokes, but it was very sweet. Like, it touched my heart. I know that some people, they look at the way the four of us interact. So by four, I mean the two of us, your daughter Castle and your ex-wife Cassie. They look at the way the four of us interact, and it's just like, that's amazing. And for me, I consider it a blessing every single time. Every single time, I am extremely grateful for it. I'm trying not to get emotional, but it was the exact opposite. And I was talking to Lady Di when we were over there on Saturday. Television does not portray stepmothers in the best light, and that stepmother stepchildren relationship in a good way. Like, we can look at, what was that show with what was it, All of Us or something like that, where Lisa Ray was the birth mother and there was a stepmother in the situation. That didn't pan out well. Like, the stepmother stepchildren relationship, it does not pair well. It doesn't fare well in television. And I just remember growing up thinking, especially because my parents were divorced, that I never wanted to be a stepmother, because it's going to be so bad. Like, I'm going to have this really bad bond with the birth mother, and the child is going to hate me and like secretly think that I have like warts and I'm like this evil person in the background. Like, I was legitimately terrified, and I never wanted to deal with that. So to be in the opposite situation where I can genuinely say that I do have love for your ex-wife. Like when she was going out of town for Thanksgiving, you didn't prompt me to do this. I sent her a message early that morning as I was getting ready for school, as I was getting ready for work. I texted her and I told her to have a safe flight, and I ended it with "I love you." And apparently there was a grammatical error in there, and I joked about it later with her that it was apparently too early for me to be texting someone, but
I ain't do none of that.
but like it, I truly am grateful for it. It's not something that I take for granted at all. And I remember Thursday morning, I saw Castle, and I said to her very genuinely that I was thankful for her. And I meant it. Like, I'm thankful for her. I'm thankful for you. I am thankful for Cassie, and I'm thankful for the relationship that we have. I know you got to take care of fantasy football.
Yeah, I gotta check my fantasy football. So I'm listening.
No, you're
I'm
fine.
listening, but I gotta check my fantasies real quick.
So for me, it's a blessing. Like I look at it as a blessing. So seeing her post this morning, it warmed my heart, and I was grateful for her expressions. It wasn't expected, and I'm just grateful. That's just me. I'm sitting in a place of gratitude.
Keeping you in the hot seat, and then we're gonna close out the show. Why is it? Because you've harped on this. Your Aunt Gigi. Shout out to Aunt Gigi.
Hi, Auntie.
Your Aunt Gigi, and had a call. She called when we were driving back and everything. That lady is full of life. She's awesome. And when she said, "I love you, Michelle. I love you, King," you said, "I love you, Aunt Gigi." And I was like, "Bye, Gigi." And you kept harping on that since then.
I would not say harping.
Why?
I brought it up today.
And every day since.
I did not.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
When did I say it yesterday?
I am observant, and I sometimes don't say things, but you said it yesterday too when we talked on the phone.
I did?
Yes.
I do not remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, granted, I have like a horrible memory, but I really don't remember that.
Why is that a big thing for you?
It's not so much you responding to Aunt Gigi that is a big thing to me, but I know I noticed that it's not a trouble spot, but I noticed that I don't hear you say that often.
Nope. I
So-
say it to you. I say it to my daughter. About the only two people that I love you.
Right. So that's my thing. It's not so much that you didn't say it to Aunt Gigi. Because, like I said, Aunt Gigi is going to say it. Because that's who she is as a person. Like, that's just who she is. But for you, it's like, I noticed that. And I was just like, well, I don't remember saying that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Like, offline, I got to know what I said Saturday and Sunday.
You said really the same thing that you brought it up similar to how you brought it up today.
Today, I was just bold and just out there with it.
But it was brought up like kind of the same way. But it was you bringing it up today that maybe this is the second time that she, brought this up. Actually, because today's Monday. So today for sure. Yesterday, that was a Friday conversation?
Yeah. It's all like
And Saturday. Yep, every day.
Like,
Every day.
we gonna need, what is that thing called? The instant playback thing to like
Says
show
to
me.
playback button, yes.
Yeah, I need the playback button on this.
Because today made me realize it's like, oh, this is the third time she's brought this up.
Remember this?
So I was kind of messing with you a little bit today because I'm like, this is not like a theme for you or anything like that. It's like, so I was messing with you for the most part today because I'm like, this is like the third time she's.
But again, it's not specifically about Aunt Gigi. It's about the words in you, not about who you say it to. But it's a matter of, I notice who you don't say it. I guess
And
that's the thing.
yes, and you were correct in your assessment. She goes, "Yep, every day." I don't know what that's.
She's like falling out over there. Like, sis, are you okay? Are you still in a chair, or have you fallen out from laughter?
But you are not wrong in that. I do say it to you. I do say it to my daughter. I tell my daughter every chance that I get because for me, when me and her mother were divorcing, I didn't want her to not feel like her dad didn't love her. Now, I never thought that I would have to worry about a bad co-parenting situation between Cassie and I. But not being in the same household, I felt like, man, that there could be a connection or whatnot. So my daughter and I, every time we see each other, make sure that she gets a hug from her father. And whenever we do speak, I make sure to tell her that I love her so that she knows that like her father loves her. And I felt like that was important for her to both hear me say it and get that hug and don't go any interactions. Like there was one time where we had first seen each other for the first time that day or whatever, and then maybe about 2 hours had gone by, and at the same time we both was like, "Hey," and then we realized why we said "Hey," and then we just kind of came in. So for her, that's I have no problem saying it, but for everybody else, even to include like my own parents, shout out to pops and my dad, pops and my mom. I know that they do watch the live stream sometimes as well. I can't tell you the last time that I've said it to them either.
So that's why it was my thing. Not so much what are you saying to Aunt Gigi and what are you not saying to Aunt Gigi, but it's the fact that you don't say it.
Mm,
Like that, I notice it's a struggle for
It is. One of my cousins lost her brother today, and whenever cause she's the family communicator. She knows she has everybody's information. She's the one that coordinates a lot of things. And she lost her brother today. She's one of the ones that every time when we do link up and she just taps in from time to time, she's a older second cousin. She always says, I love you every time that she ends the phone and like I'll say it to her too. I don't know if that's her way of getting me to say it, because like I love my family. I love people. Saying it, I don't know. I get like this when I say it to people that I really don't say it to. That's just me though.
And I think for me, it's different. There are different levels to love. Like we hear love in the English language, and we automatically go to romantic. Like either you are my close family, or it's romantic.
And we've talked about it
And
on
we
our
we
show.
have talked about
Mhm.
it on our show that in the Greek there are four different levels of love, four different words that they use to cover the one English word of love, and they're different levels of love. So I say to all of my cousins, to everyone, I end every one of my daily doses of show was saying, love you, because I do. Like for me, it's not hard for me say that word. Now, for me to say it in a romantic way is a little bit different. But for me to say in like that brotherly love type thing, it's not difficult for me to say. And there is a level of love that I have for my family and a level of love that I have for people that I don't want any harm. So me saying I love you is my way of saying in a much more condensed manner, God, please cover them, please watch over them, please protect them. Like that's what my I love you is saying to them.
Bree T has a comment here says, mine stems from not saying it growing up. We knew we loved each other after though. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And see, I didn't grow up hearing the term I love you. Like that wasn't a Jamaican phrase. And I didn't know that I was loved. Like as you can tell, like acts of service and gift giving, it's all the way at the bottom for me. I didn't know that that's how people were expressing love to me. I needed to hear those words. That's kind of where like that words of affirmation come in. Like I needed to hear that love, or I needed to like feel love to know that it was there. But for me, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, like no matter how close we are, and how close we aren't, for me, I love you to them. It is coming off as that like familial love, that brotherly love, and it's coming from the place of God, please cover them and protect them. Don't allow any harm to come to them. That's where that love is coming from. Even the same thing with, I call her your little sister, and I know she's not your little sister, but even with Sarah, like I will say that to her as well. And again, that's where it's coming from. The love that I have for your ex-wife and your daughter, it's different. It's a little bit deeper because there is a relationship there. For me, I don't look at love as linear, just one particular level. I look at it as different levels of love. I do look at it more from the Greek terminology, the Greek words used for love, more so than the English word used for love. And that's why I'm able to use.
All right, all right. Well, we're gonna close out the show, and I'm gonna close it out with two things. Thing number one, we have a trip planned up north for the Christmas holidays. Depending on the weather and some things, we're looking at traveling down south. And the place that's primarily at the top, I'll go ahead and put this out there. I don't see any harm in saying it, is New Orleans. So if any of y'all that are watching and listening out near New Orleans over the Christmas time frame, let me know. Shoot us an email at the King and Me Show at gmail.com. And if y'all got time and want to link up, let's link up. I think that a platform like this could be a great way of just networking and getting to know other dope people and stuff out there. But that's if we go down south. We'll see. We'll see. But as of right now, the original plans to go up. We're still ironing that out. All right. And the second thing that I wanted to talk about or bring up is that next Monday, episode 26. So this was episode 25.
Hey, 25, my line, well, the line.
Our episode is Dating While Broken. Hated it.
Hated it. Like, we all
Hated
remember
it.
that from Living Color.
In Living Color. Yeah.
Do what you want
That's
to
why
do
I think
in Living Color.
dating somebody culturally that is the same as you, because like y'all can do that and get it. I'm not a fan of, you don't have to exclusively stay within somebody that's around your age group or culture or things like that. I think relationships can work if you step out or have an age gap. That's a topic for another live stream. I want to thank everybody that tuned in and watched us live. Everybody that is going to catch us on the replay as well, we thank you. If you hadn't hit that like button, do us a favor and hit that like button. And if you are so inclined, share our stream. I think that topics like this and live streams like this can showcase that two people can come together and showcase their bond and things like that. There were several people that were like, y'all shouldn't put y'all's relationship out there, yada yada, like social media can hurt it. I'm like, but it can also help and showcase that not everything out there is trash. So that's why we do it. And think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Can people, I know I can't do it. Can you name more than 3 couples that's not Kev on stage and his wife, that's not Marcus and his wife, or the Mans, Tamala Man and
David.
David,
Mm-hmm.
that have content like this that show the positive side of relationships? I can't name 5 people outside of those 3, because a lot of the scandalous stuff is
I
what
mean,
gets
Tabitha-
views and things.
Tabitha and her husband, they don't have like content like this, but they do some content together.
Mhm.
Tabitha Brown and her husband. But like, I don't think they have a show or anything like that.
Yeah. So if you feel so inclined, share it. Let's see. We got Free T said Tabitha
There you
and
go.
Chance Brown do Fridays with Tab and Chance, but that's all I know. Exactly. So if you do feel inclined, share this so that people can know that, hey, it ain't all trash out there. All right. So if y'all are new to this show, we like to we've ended every episode with a kiss. It was her idea, but I was game for it. So I'm just,
You just throwing me all the way under the bus today.
no, because you know what? You are co-producer of this show. So, and it was a fantastic idea, and I'm all for it.
I mean, I benefit from it every week.
Aha, that physical touch and the quality time. Y'all see how we do this? This was all my mastermind all along. But thank y'all for tuning in. Good night. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you so
Peace.
much. Bye, y'all. Have a good night.
Boom.
Rock the